In the past video, we talked about the top 10 famous festival in the Philippines and the history of that famous festival in the Philippines. And if you are not already watching the video, I provide a link in the description box, or you can visit my YouTube channel, Facebook page, and YouTube account. So now, let's talk about the presidency and the line of succession.
Yo, what's up guys? It's Justine Jules at kung bago ka lang sa YouTube channel ko, mag-subscribe ka na at pindutin mo ang bell button para update ka sa mga bago kong video.
Under the present Constitution of the Philippines, the President of the Philippines is both head of state and the head of government, and serve as the Commander-in-Chief in the country armed forces. The President is directly elected by qualified voters of the population to a 6-year of term, and must be natural-born citizen of the Philippines, a registered voter able to read and write, at least 40 years of age, on the day of election, and the President of the Philippines for at least 10 years immediately preceding such as election. Any person who has served as President for more than 6 years is barred from running for the position again. Upon incumbent President death, permanent disability, resignation, or removal from the office, the Vice President assumes the post. The line of succession. Prior to the professional governance, the Philippines was governed by a succession of Spanish military general during the colonization by Spain. The military governors were appointed by Spanish loyals to lead the civil government of the archipelago in the running years of Spanish domination in the Philippines. A Philippine Revolution occurred. This led to the establishment of brief revolutionary government. This occupied while Spain and the United States were both engaged in a war for control of the Philippine Islands. The Americans defeated the Spanish forces, seized control of the islands, and determined the revolutionary government. Earlier, under the American colonization, the President of the United States appointed our military generals. It's later transferred the civil governance to an appointed Governor-General, both under the insular, the Commonwealth Periods, the Philippines as an overseas territory of the United States. Presidency. While the line of succession of presidency is formally recognized starting ascension to power of Emilio Aguinaldo as the revolutionary president, is that not mean, however, that the Philippines did not have a civil government prior to the Philippine Revolution, had a civilian colonial government established in the Philippine Islands for over 4 centuries, spearheaded by a government appointed by the Viceroy of Mexico. The governor funded the colonial government. On behalf of Spain Crown, Emilio Aguinaldo became an inaugural president of the Philippines. Under the Malolos Republic, considered the first Philippine Republic, he held that office until 1901, when he was occupied by the United States forces. During the Philippine-American War, in 1899 to 1902, the American colonization of the Philippines abolished the First Republic, which led to an American Governor-General, exciting executive power in 1935. The United States, pursuant in its promise of full Philippine sovereignty, established the Commonwealth of the Philippines, following the ratification of the 1935 Constitution, which also restored the presidency. The first national presidential election was held, and Manuel L. Quezon in 1935 to 1944 was elected to a 6-year of term, with no provision to re-election, as the second Philippine president and the first Commonwealth president in 1940. However, the Constitution was amended to follow re-election, but shortened the term to 4 years. A change in government occupied 3 years later, when the Second Philippine Republic was organized with the enactment of the 1943 Constitution, which Japan imposed after it occupied the Philippines in 1942 during the World War II. Jose Laurel acted as a puppet president for the new Japanese-sponsored government. His de facto presidency, not legally recognized until the 1960s, overlapped with that of the President of the Commonwealth, which went into exile, was dissolved after Japan surrendered to the Allies in 1945. The Commonwealth was restored in the Philippines in the same year of with Sergio Usmeña in 1944 to 1946 as president. Manuel Ruas in 1946 to 1948 followed Usmeña when he won the first post-war election in 1946. He became the first president of the independent Philippines when the Commonwealth ended on July 4 of that year. The Third Republic was adhered in the would cover the administration of the next 5 presidents, the last of which has Ferdinand Marcos in 1965 to 1986, who performed a self-cap by imposing martial law in 1972. The dictatorship of Marcos, the birth of the new society, Pilipino Bagong Lipunan, and the Fourth Republic. He future listed until 1986 when he was disposed in the People Power Revolution. The current constitution came into effect in 1987, marking the beginning of the Fifth Republic on the individual elected as president. 3 dead in office, 2 of natural causes, Manuel L. Quezon and Manuel Rojas, and the one in a plane crash, Ramon Magsaysay, in 1953 to 1957. The longest-serving president is Ferdinand Marcos, with 20 years and 57 days in office, when he was only president to have served more than 2 terms. The shortest of Sergio Usmeña, when spent 1 year and 300 days in office. 2 women have held the office, Corazon Aquino in 1986 to 1992, the presidency, upon the successful People Power Revolution of 1986, and Gloria Macapagal Arroyo in 2001 to 2010, who as Vice President ascended to the presidency upon Estrada's resignation and was elected to full 6 years term in 2004. The list of 16 President. First President, Emilio Aguinaldo, 1899 to 1901. Second President, Manuel Quezon, 1935-1944. Third President, Jose P. Laurel, 1943 to 1945. Fourth President, Sergio Usmeña, 1944 to 1946. Fifth President, Manuel Rojas, 1946-1948. Sixth President, Elpidio Creno, 1948 to 1953. Seventh President, Ramon Magsaysay, 1953 to 1957. Eighth President, Carlos P. Garcia, 1957 to 1961. Ninth President, Diosdado Macapagal, 1961 to 1965. 10th President, Ferdinand Marcos, 1965 to 1986. 11th President, Corazon Aquino, 1986 to 1992. 12th President, Fidel Ramos, 1992 to 1998. 13th President, Joseph Estrada, 1998 to 2001. 14th President, Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, 2001 to 2010. 15th President, Noynoy Aquino, 2010 to 2016. 16th President, Rodrigo Roa Duterte, 2016 and a future year. In the next video, we talk about the biography or the talambuhay of the 16th President. And thank you for watching, guys. I hope you like my video, and don't forget to subscribe and click the bell button for more updates. And see you on my next video.